Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. On this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the Dealey Plaza tours and the JFK assassination. As you know, I got a few images behind me and stuff like that. Yesterday and Thursday and Friday, I went ahead and decided, well, you know what? Let me look at some of these tours and stuff that they do in Dallas, to get a feel of what they're talking about more and stuff. So I watched 10 hours videos on Thursday and about 6 or 7 hours of videos yesterday on these Dealey Plaza tours by these guys that you see behind me and what they talk about. Now, I find it funny that all of them tells these almost similar stories, but they have a little difference in here, a little difference in here, and stuff like that. And where they place the gunman at, okay? They're always trying to point the finger at Lyndon B. Johnson behind assassination, the mob being behind assassination, okay? Excuse me, that's what they're pointing at. Lyndon B. Johnson and the mob being behind the assassination of JFK. But they always talk about the three shots. Only three shots, though. They're only talking about three shots. One of them will throw in there maybe now, beginning. It was always about the three shots, but now I think one of them throws in another shot. Okay. But let's look at this for a moment. Okay. This one right here. This man here is, I got his name right here written down. Uh, let's see who this is. This is Bowden, McGill Bowden, or Miguel Bowden. Okay, he tells about the story. Basically Lyndon B. Johnson, Lee Harvey Oswald had nothing to do with it. The assassin was a picket fence and Dow Tex building. Frank Sturgis being there. Charles Heston, Charles Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's father, being there. There are the assassinations. Oh, and let's not forget James Files. James Files. So we got Frank Sturgis there, James Files there, Charles Harrelson there. They're the assassins. Daltex building, picket fence. That's always pointing at Daltex building, picket fence. And he's telling these stories, and people donate money to him and everything else like that. So he's going to tell his story. And he tells the same thing over. Now he's still doing it today. Don't get me wrong. No, this is a different one. Sorry. Let's see this one here. This is Ron Washington. He was telling the same thing. Hey, you know, picket fence, James Files, Charles Harrelson. Oh, and Hunt. Okay, and Frank Sturgis. Okay, we got Frank Sturgis, James Files, Charles Harrelson, and E. Howard Hunt. And he's going around and says, Daltex building, picket fence. Daltex building, picket fence. Daltex building, picket fence. See what I'm saying? And then he still does it today. I was done a few years ago. Here's the one I have recently. Same story, telling the same thing. Picket fence, Daltex building, Charles Harrelson, Frank Sturgis, James Files, E. Howard Hunt. You know, three shots. JFK fatal headshot came from that picket fence area. All of them keeps on saying the same thing, picket fence area and stuff like that. Now, here we got this guy right here. This is Michael Brownlow. Brownlow. I think that's Michael Brownlow. Yeah, it's Michael Brownlow. This is him here. Now he goes around. He says, well, he was part of. He was there the day JFK was assassinated. I think he said he was 12 years old. He tells the same stories as the rest of them. Frank Sturgis being there, Charles Harrelson was there, E. Howard Hunt. But basically he's telling a lot of stuff that Robert Groden tells, like the rest of them, because every one of them showing up. Robert Groden's books, you can buy them off me. You donate $20, you can have Robert Groden's book. That's what they do. But they're out there every day telling these same old stories to millions of viewers and millions of people coming there every single day, want to know what happened, and they talk about this, but none of them talks about down here where the manhole cover is. They don't talk about it, except for one, this guy right here, which I didn't capture his name. Okay, this guy here, he talks about the one shot to the manhole cover, but mainly he's talking about, again, Daltex building, grassy knoll, and a Gummin, which I'll pull up this map right here. No, not this one here. I'll pull up this map here. They say, here's locations they claim. Fourth or third floor of the Daltex building where the shots were. Gummin here, or Gummin inside of the manhole cover. Okay, and the sewer drain here. They're talking about the 3 shots, except for the one he's talking about 4 shots, which is one to the manhole cover. That's it. But mainly the fatal headshot JFK, throat shot JFK, and then the missed shot to James Tague down here. Okay, now what gets me is this. Look at the locations and their stories. There's nothing for them to back it up. Just a story. Remember that. Just a story is all they're telling these people day in and day out, 7 days a week, 356 days in a year. And they go there to make that money. Now, if you watch my research and you do follow my research, I should say. Oops, let's see. Let's go back to this one. If you follow my research, okay, which I'll pull this up all the way. Then I'll pull this one up. As I show you, they have one guy in the Daltex building, guy here, and a guy here. Now, as you see in my research, I got a gunman on a second floor of the county records building. I'm showing photographic evidence. I got a gunman on a rooftop of the county records building showing photographic evidence. Lee Harvey Oswald on the 6th floor Tech School Book Depository, photographic evidence. 2 gunmen inside shelter number 3, photographic evidence. I have no photographic evidence for any gunman down here in the picket fence area, just the story. No gunman inside the manhole cover here, just a story. No gunman inside the Daltex building, just a story. Because every one of them says Oswald was a patsy. Now, what gets me is the most is here in Michael Brownlow's story, he tells people that Oswald killed J.D. Tippit, Officer J.D. Tippit. And the reason why he killed Officer J.D. Tippit is because he was paid, Officer Tippit was paid by Jack Ruby to assassinate Oswald. Okay? Gotta add that drama to it. You gotta add that little extra oomph, that little extra story for that drama, for people to capture that audience. You gotta capture that audience. So now Tippit was paid by Ruby to assassinate Oswald, but Oswald was smart. Oswald was quick. Oswald was fast. He pulled out his revolver and shoots Tippit before Officer Tippit got a chance to shoot him. Okay, this is in his story. Now, that's why I said when I watch this stuff and I look at it, and we know Robert Grodin's there every day, or every other day, or so many days out of the week, or maybe even weekends now. I point out the fact that JFK assassination is nothing but a money-making industry. If the case was solved, do you think he would still be able to go down there and tell people what happened? Do you think any of these other gentlemen would go down there and tell people what happened? Okay, now I want to show you something here. Here's one guy right here. We have, let me pull up this one here. We got Ron Washington, right? We got Michael Brownlow. We have Michael Bowen, Miguel Bowen, I should say. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. Okay. Now we got this guy here. Okay, let's do this one, and this one. Okay, we got all these guys right here. All right, we got 4 gentlemen right here. 4 gentlemen right here. They're all making money every day. As you see, you with coats on in wintertime, summertime, springtime, fall time. They're out there telling us the story about the 3 shots. James Files, Frank Sturgis, Charles Harrelson, mob, Lyndon B. Johnson, behind the assassination of JFK, talking about the 3 shots and stuff like that, saying the picket fence gunmen, okay, one of them claimed that he was there during the assassination, the other 3 wasn't, you know, but they're there making money every day telling these false information stories to the public. That's why people don't understand them. They get 1 million people there every year in Dallas, Texas to look and be there where JFK was assassinated. 1 million people. Now let's look at this for a moment. You take 1 million people, we're going to figure something out here, which I'm going to pull up and you're going to see. Okay, we'll pull up the calculator. Now let's say on a daily basis, there was 1,000 people there that day. Say 1,000 people. And each one of them donated to $20 to these guys right here. All right, $20 each one of these guys right here. And say 100 of them, 100 people out of 1,000 gave each one of these $20 for that book that they're selling from Robert Groden. Okay, so we're going to go 100 times 20 equals $2,000. $2,000. That maybe one of these guys will make $2,000. Now let's go ahead and do that times 7 equals $14,000 in a week. 14, just sitting there all day long telling the story of 3 shots. Okay, 3 shots, and that's taken low end. 1,000 people, only 100 people out there. Even if we go to the lowest, we'll say 1,000 people. Okay, we'll take, say, 40 people times 20. 40 people gave him $20. Say this guy here, out of 1,000 people, 40 people gave him $20 for that book that he says they can have free if they donate $20 to him. He does the same thing, okay? And he does the same thing. They carry these satchels around with all these books and stuff. As you see, he's got his book bag. So let's look at that. Say 40 people out of that 1,000 gave him $20 for that book. That's $800 on one day. Now, if I do that times 7, that's $5,600 a week. Now we're going to times that by 4 equals $22,400 in 1 month. Now let's do that times 12. Times 12 equals $268,800 a year. My God, a president hardly don't even get that much. But that's what these guys will average. So what are we looking at? We're looking at this Dallas Taurus as, hey, I'm looking at this as a money-making industry, man. I'm going to make that jack. I'm going to make that money. Okay, they put that book, I'll give you this book free for $20 donation. What's free about it? If you got to give them $20 donation before you get that book, so basically you're paying $20 for that book, but people's there and they're going to say, okay, he just got done telling us a story. He's going to let us have this book here if we just make a $20 donation. Let's go ahead and give him that $20 because now, he gave us all this information. We got this book with colorized images in it. And, he's not, he's just out here. This is how he makes his living and stuff. That's a lot of money in 1 year. And as you see, we take it even to the lowest point. Okay, we can even go lower if you like. We could say 20 people out of 1,000 times $20. That's still $400 a day times 7. That's still $2,800 in a week times 4. That's $11,200 in 1 month times 12. That's still $134,400 a year. Okay, see, no matter how low we can get, we can still see that these people are still making over $100,000 a year to $200,000 a year just going out telling a story for a few hours a day. Okay, this is what I look at the JFK assassination as a money-making industry. These Dallas Taurus are the same thing. This is why the truth will never prevail. I'll show you something else. These so-called researchers and these people tell us. Now, who they got right here? They have Frank Sturgis as tramp number B. That's his tall tramp. That's supposed to be Frank Sturgis. Well, wouldn't you know that that's the same thing that these other people are saying too, but a different guy? So how can this one tramp right here be Frank Sturgis and also Charles Harrelson? You see what I'm saying? They got Charles Harrelson as this guy here, and they got Frank Sturgis as this guy here. Who do you going to believe? So see, the stories keep on going and going and going. It's like when you hear the stories that they said Charles Harrelson, okay, which I'll bring up this one here. Charles Harrison was behind a picket fence right here. James Files is over here. But when we talk to James Files, we hear James Files, he was the only one behind that picket fence. Okay? So see, they add that more that they add that drama to it. Okay? They add that drama to it because in his story, he was the only one behind the picket fence. Frank Sturgis and all of them, or whoever, was up here in the Daltex building. Okay? And he was the only one behind the picket fence. But some of these guys back here, okay, some of these guys right here, which I'll bring up, that I think was, or him, was the ones that was saying, Charles Harrelson was back behind the picket fence right along with with James Files, but James Files don't even say nothing about him, uh, Charles Harrelson being with him. So you see what I'm saying? The stories they tell us, they're just telling us a story to make that money, as I just showed you. As I just showed you, we even took the lowest point, even 10 people out of 1,000. Okay, 10 people even out of 1,000. That's still $100 a day. That's still $700 a week. That's 14. That's $2,800 a month. That's still over 60,000 or $70,000 a year. So see, no matter which way you do, you can go low, 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 but they're still making money. Just doing what they're just doing, just out there telling a story. Okay, they'll bring up Robert Groden's book and point this out, autopsy images, you know, shot JFK was shot back and went straight back and to the left and stuff. They'll tell us this story, and that's all they do is tell us a story, but they're not proving anything. They're not proving it in their cases. They're not proving anything. They're not showing us anything as proof, just telling us a story. In my research, I tell the story, but also show evidence to back it up. I wanted to make this video here to point out something that I want to also to show people that these Dallas tours, you know, the Dealey Plaza tours and stuff, it's just a money-making industry. JFK assassination is nothing but a money-making industry. You got a researcher sitting there selling his books and his DVDs and magazines every so often down there. You got these gentlemen here out there every day posting their, you know, telling their story, getting donations and stuff like that, $5 donations, $10 donations. It always adds up at the end of the day, as everybody knows that. They look at the JFK assassination as a money-making industry anymore, and that's kind of gets me kind of sad inside because it's like it's a murder case that's never going to be solved because all these false stories are out there and they're pushing the false stories and they're making money off the false stories as well. Okay, but I just want to make this video here and point out some more facts about this stuff, you know. So don't forget that like button, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to tell your friends about us. Share this video with other people on social medias and stuff like that so they know this information as well. You really want to know the truth about the JFK assassination, okay? And you want to go to Dallas and look over it. Order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy. I want to add that in there. I usually don't push my books like this, but order Evidence of Conspiracy. Take out the maps that's inside there. Take out the images that's inside there and look around that Dealey Plaza there and point out and look at it, and you can see exactly what took place that day. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Thank you, and have a pleasant, pleasant day.